morning and welcome back to Santa Marta, and today we're outside the Expo Tour office and we're just about ready to get into our groups and head out on the Ciudad Perdida trek here, which we have to drive about 2.5 hours out into the Sierra Nevada mountains, and then we're going to have lunch and then actually start the trekking. It's going to be a long trek for the next 4 days or so, and we get to the Ciudad Perdida on Friday the 13th, so that'll be interesting. Alright, so we're not quite at our lunch stop yet, and we've been kind of driving along a road that kind of goes on the south edge of the Teyuna National Park. Before we actually get going on the hike, they gave us a pretty healthy proportion of lunch. From here we've got about 3.5 or 4 hours of trekking until we reach the place where we're going to sleep tonight in bunk beds or hammocks, our decision. So we're only about an hour into the trek today, and as you can already see, I'm drenched in sweat. The sun has been in and out. There's a few gray clouds, but we've got this beautiful viewpoint behind me here of the mountains. And we're gonna be back on the road for another 2.5, 3 hours today. Another stop just up the road. He's making fresh squeezed orange juice here on the side of the cliffs, which is actually delicious even though it's not cold. They even give you a free watermelon for the trek, which is awesome. It's a little bit cooler now that we're at the top of this hill, and there's a little sign over here that we're all going to take pictures of that says Te quiero Colombia, which means I love you, Colombia. And right now, with this breeze, I love it a lot more than I did about 20 minutes ago. Hello. So the steep grade has turned into pretty easy grades up and down, so it's a lot easier to walk, and the humidity is still there, but there's no sun out, so we don't have to worry about too much sunburn, which I think I am already a little bit. Even now, having horses or mules is still probably the best way to get stuff up here because the motorbikes stall a lot. We completed today's trekking. The last little jaunt was a little bit of uphill and downhill again. Still sweating, waiting for a cold shower and some food here. It looks pretty basic, but it looks like we've got everything we need. Some hammocks, some bunk beds, a guy cooking food, and a bird to talk to. So before we can really do anything, even get in the beds, they told us we have to shower, and everybody's kind of washing their clothes in the sink and laying them on the line back here. Hopefully they're dry by tomorrow because it's pretty humid here, so that's a possibility that they won't be. A nice cold shower really makes all of the difference, but it's pretty dark in there, so I had to use my camera phone light to actually shine down so I could actually see what I was doing. But the cold water is refreshing and I'm ready for a good meal here in about an hour. How do you feel after a day of hiking?
Pretty tired. Got some energy, Red Bull.
Oh, they actually have that. I might get one of those too. And a beer.
And a beer.
Nice. So that is our tour guide, Cesar, with the house monkey of our first stop tonight.
It's strong.
He's strong?
He's gonna bite a hole in it. Okay, it's all yours.
Okay. Sounds good. You're addicted to alcohol. Alcohol is monkey. You're gonna be so drunk, bro. Grasshoppers here are a few times the size of the ones back home, like massive. Well, since it started to rain and we've got to be up really early, about 4:30, 5 o'clock tomorrow, I'm going to head to bed. I will see you in the morning. I hope he doesn't go for my ear here. No, get him off me. He's going for...
Do that.
Don't, no. He is fighting everybody.
These small piglets around Sick. And then they will keep it like.
Well, after what turned out to be a pretty muddy morning and my lack of talking due to having the D word for a little while this morning, not feeling so great, we're here for lunch and we're going to eat by the river, so we're going to have a little swim first and then lunchtime and then back on the trail for a few more hours. Good morning and welcome back to the third day of trekking here to the Lost City, and today is the day we actually get to walk the last 1,200 steps uphill to the Lost City itself early this morning. But a little bit of an update, I feel a lot better today thanks to a friend that had some antibiotics, but the downside is that 3 or 4 other people in the camp have got the D word today, so we're struggling to find remedies to keep everybody going up to the Lost City today and for the trek tomorrow. So not everything is peachy while trekking, but it works out in the end, hopefully. Yeah, it is torture, for sure. So we finally arrived at the 1,200 steps that we need to go up the hill in order to find the Lost City, where the grave robbers originally walked up, and the Teyuna or Teyuna people made these steps a long time ago. It's going to be torture because it's 1,200 steps straight up a hill. Teyuna, known as Ciudad Perdida, or the Lost City in English, was rediscovered in the 1970s. It was believed to be abandoned just after the Spanish arrived in South America in the late 16th century. Archaeologists believe Teyuna was constructed around the year 800, predating Machu Picchu in Peru by nearly 600 years. The nearly 2-day hike to reach the Lost City is hot, humid, and exhausting, but it is completely worth the money and effort to visit these still sacred mountaintop ruins. Though the city itself lay abandoned and in ruins for centuries, there are still indigenous communities scattered throughout this area of the Sierra Nevada mountains. Our guides quickly turned from group leaders into jokers before giving us a tour of the history and architecture of this beautiful place. After the hours of walking and intense climbing, our group decides to rest in the middle terrace before some of us continue to the higher ones. Walking the 1,200 steps back down to the Burrataka River is easier, but still dangerous. The steps are very steep and sometimes slippery. So after some more facts about the Teyuna people and how they still do ceremonies and stuff in September up at the Lost City, we have finally walked all the way back down all of those steep stairs, and we're at the river crossing again, waiting for everybody to cross on the 2 boards back there. So we came back to the camp that we slept at last night for lunch, and now we're about ready to hit the trail for another 3 hours back toward El Mame. We won't get there today, but we'll stop for the night, and then we'll get to El Mame tomorrow, which probably is another 4 to 6 hours, I think, in the morning. No. That night, we are treated to a visit from a local Wiwa man named Celso. He talked about the 4 ethnicities within the Teyuna community. They share common customs and the belief that the 3 highest peaks of the sacred Sierra Nevada mountains are the lungs and heart of the entire world. He is sitting constantly using an instrument called a poporo. It signifies he is a man, since men are only allowed to use them. When a boy becomes a man, there is a 4-day, 5-night ceremony with a tribal leader where he is given a poporo and his wife. So last night before we went to bed, we had a little fire, and there was a indigenous person there that was actually a descendant of the Teyuna people. They are really in tune with nature, and they're very spiritual people as well. I'll try to find some links and leave them below in the description if you want to learn more about their religion and their customs. So they each have a little bit of a different mythology and story behind it and different customs, but it was very interesting.
Gracias por la gallina. Ah, bueno.
Almuerzo.
Almuerzo. El almuerzo.
So it's about 6:20 in the morning. We just stopped by the house of some locals on our trail to give the kids some sweets, and we still got about 5.5 hours of trekking today before lunch. Now I see why some people call the Lost City the Green Hell, because it takes forever to get there, it takes forever to get back. It's a pretty hard trek. Right now I haven't been recording a lot because we're just taking the same route that we came the first day all the way back, so there's nothing new to see, but we're gonna have lunch in El Mame where we started out before, and then we're gonna head back to Santa Marta.
Even you lost, you are here, and lost and sick as well. So, well, guys, you are really strong, because even you were sick, and 3 days of work of tiredness on you, you even finished this work. So you are really strong, guys, and thank you so much for came here and give us this opportunity to bring us to that place.
Thank you. Thank you for watching this video. Smash the like and subscribe button below. If you want to see more content, ring the little bell icon to get notified for my newest videos. And you can click on the side over there to see some of my previous videos. Safe travels and never stop adventuring.